sinked into the chair. I'm high as fuck. Me too, cuz. Me three, my nigga.
Guess who's back?
Ghostface is still killing folks.
You know what they say about the crazy ones? They got the best.
You suck! Boo your ass!
Get the fuck out!
Scary movie.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twin with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Yeah, so I guess the other day I went to go see Scream, sorry, not Scream, Scary Movie 6. It is of course, the sixth movie in the series, and it's a prolonged series that initially started with these guys, like you saw the two black guys. That's the Wayans brothers, and they started the series. They started with the original Scary Movie, and it was very funny. It was culturally relevant at the time, and it was it was parody done right. In the vein of Airplane and movies like Airplane and what else? I can't think of, like Hot Shots and things like that. You've seen these movies a million times before. The Naked Gun movies would be another great example. But again, a scary parody. And again, it was funny and relevant at the time, and they did the second one too. So they were also a part of Scream 2, the Wayans brothers, and then they were let go or fired from the third, fourth, and fifth entry into the series. And then this is where they came back. I guess they were given creative control to come back and do a sixth film and try to recapture the magic. And I think that's just what it was. It was an attempt to recapture the magic that they found in their early careers. Because you will laugh at some of the stuff in it. Like me and my buddies laughed at some of the stuff, but it definitely didn't hit as hard as the original one, or even the second one for that matter. It was just, again, I think I don't like using the term washed up has-beens, but it's people who are just desperate to stay culturally relevant and in the zeitgeist, given an opportunity to come back and play with their IP again that they were unceremoniously fired from by the Weinstein brothers. And again, I think it's just too little too late. I don't think that people younger than myself will really care about Scary Movie or what it has to offer. And that's the sad truth. Let me do a real quick transition here. I'm still talking, haven't even cut back to the other screen. And transition. But yeah. So again, just not a great film overall. Nothing stands out about it. You're not going to go rushing back to it. There's not going to be any member berries about this film years from now. This was just them coming back to have one last hoorah with the IP that they initially created, the Scary Movie. Which is, I guess, good for them that they were allowed to come back and do that. That's, I think whatever studio owned, I guess Miramax, gave them the opportunity to come back and play with their stuff and see how relevant they could be. They brought back Anna Faris, who left the series after the fourth movie, and same goes for her friend Brenda came back. I don't know the actress's name. I apologize to that. But again, there are you'll get some belly laughs out of it, but again, I don't think, anybody's going to be clamoring. You're not going to go back and rewatch this film. And that's the downside with most comedy movies. It's like, once you've seen it once, there's no point watching it again. You can only rewatch an M. Night Shyamalan movie maybe once, like because you're prepared for the laughs next time, so that's the downside of comedy. It's and horror and comedy are so incredibly related, because again, once you know the joke or the laugh, it doesn't hit the same anymore. Which is why there's always going to be a need for comedians. There's always going to be a need for comedy and scare and horror, because again, everybody's always wanting to be creeped out and laughed. And again, it has to be new and unique. The form has to come at you again new. And they're just rehashing the same old jokes they've been doing for years and trying to cook them and make them interesting, but it just, the punchlines just didn't do it for me anymore. And that's a shame, it's a shame they got to come back and do this one and hit it. And I'm sure, I don't know, guys, it's just not the best. And I guess, what can you expect from a movie like Scary Movie, especially one that's Scary Movie 6? I think they're really trying to sell the fact that the Wayne brothers are coming back. But again, it's just people trying to recapture nostalgia, recapture the member berries of former movies. And again, it's not like the Scary Movie franchise was that big to begin with. Yes, they made buckets of money, but again, parody is always the death of any genre in any franchise. So, again, so how can parody itself be so reverent? Maybe if you're lucky, you'll have the ones like Airplanes remembered very fondly. Movies like Animal House are remembered very fondly. You have to go a couple of years without watching a film to, really kind of laugh at it again. Or, maybe if you watched it when you're younger, you didn't understand a joke at a time. It's like going back and watching old kids movies. You watch it as an adult and you're like, oh, that innuendo is pretty, that's pretty out there. That's a very adult thing that kids would not get. So anyway, there's none of that with this. Again, there's a lot of setups, not much for punchlines. And, they take stabs making fun of other directors and comedies, and I think that they really, I don't think they did justice. I think that their commentary on other directors and other comedy writers is kind of criticism they can levy right back at themselves with this particular entry into their series. But again, it's entertaining enough. If you're bored on a Friday night, go check it out. But this is definitely something you could wait to see when it comes out on streaming. If that, this is ultimately a sleeper film that you could miss and, not miss a beat. So other than that, I think that's really about all I've got for you today. This was The Twin with Owasso Live. This was The Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's really all I've got for you today. God bless you, and I will catch you next time.
Come on! Man, you ain't Micah. Micah's got a monkey. I got a llama. We back.
Who are you, John Wick?
Sink into the chair.